Have you ever heard of this thing called the High Sierra Flyin? Well, I've been watching it for about 10 years and wanting to go, and this is really the first year that I've been able to make time and make it happen. And I was going to go in the Skywagon, but I broke it yesterday. So we're going in the Bonanza instead. This isn't exactly a backcountry airplane, but hey, it's a lake, it's a dry lake. What could go wrong? Knock on wood. All right, here we go. Marlin traffic, White Bonanza, taking active 35, departing to the west. What the heck is High Sierra Flyin anyway? Well, it's a really grassroots event held in the backcountry. A fellow named Kevin Quinn invented it about 10 years ago, actually, and he had an airplane like this. Actually, it was his 180, his Skywagon, and the mods he did to it is kind of an inspiration of why I did what I did to this airplane. And I was really looking forward to taking it. And it's like I said, it's concentration on backcountry, landing on off airport, but in strips that are able to support flying in a safe manner. So I thought it'd be really cool, and I was really looking forward to going and taking this airplane, but I broke it. And it wasn't a big deal, but I found out that if you rush and you got to make something and it's got to happen, and you usually make mistakes when you try to rush and make something happen. So I decided that air off, I'm just going to take it a little bit slower, and we'll take the Bonanza instead. And it's a little faster trip, and it worked out fine. Bonanza's not much of a backcountry airplane, but hey, it was just a dry lake bed, and it wasn't a big deal. It was really dusty, and the wind was blowing like stink on Saturday after about 10 or so in the morning. It's blowing like crazy and dust everywhere. So dust got in the airplane like I had to do a lot of cleaning. Not actually finished doing that yet, but it was an experience. So what we're going to look at is a couple of things. One is I had a big lesson learned about batteries and GoPros and iPads and all that other stuff. So I really didn't get an awful lot of film, but I got the STOL drags, and besides the dry lake blowing up around me, we're going to look at the STOL drags. And what is a STOL drag after all? Well, it's something that I think is more appealing to spectators because you can line up and watch it happen, and basically it's a drag race in both directions with airplanes. They had 3 runways there at Dead Cow Lake Bed, 2 of them for STOL drag and 1 of them for takeoffs and landings, normal traffic. So it was all the way out of the way, wasn't in the pattern. And then on this side, on the west side, was the spectators all lined up, and they had a deadline for that was 500 feet away from, at least it might have been 1,000, I'm not sure exactly. So you take off at one end, and then you land at the other, and you're not supposed to touch the ground in between. I think actually you have to be airborne somewhere in there, but once you're airborne, you can't touch down until you hit the line, the deadline on the other end. And then you stop, pause, turn around, and go back the other direction, and the first one to the other side and stops wins. And you compete for time in the beginning, so it's really kind of interesting. And we're going to take a look at that and some of the tricks for the leaders. Steve Henry has been a leader in the STOL drags, been a major player, and he was this weekend, but he got beat out. And I think he had a little bobble, and we'll take a look at that. And so anyway, had a lot of fun. So stick with us and watch the rest of it, and you'll see a real treat. We had a visit from a PC-24. It's a jet. It is a dry lake bed. And you know what? It was not soft. It was dusty. Did I say it was dusty? I think I should have said it was dusty if I didn't. So let's watch the STOL drags. Well, first I want to look at Dead Cow. This is Dead Cow.
flying over it before we came into land. I'll do a little recce pass, and it's mountains on the right, so the saddle's off on the right, ranch is just off the right corner of the windshield, and the camping spot here is on the left. I'm just going to take a quick tour over the dry lake to get a feel for it. You can see the camping spot right down there, right about where the prop is. I'm going to take a turn. Actually, it's a bit to the left. Take a turn here. You can see it off the wingtip. It's pretty cool, actually. There's not a lot of water here, except when it rains. There's the camping spot there in the basically northwest corner of the dry lake bed. You can just see the 3 runways right there at the bottom of the screen. And this is Thursday morning. Not an awful lot of people yet. There you can see the 3 runways there. And camping's all spread out there. Of course, Dead Cow and High Sierra Flyin wouldn't be High Sierra Flyin without a wake-up call. This is Kevin Quinn and another Skywagon doing a 7 o'clock wake-up call. That, my friends, is fantastic noise. This Friday morning sunrise. Sunrises in the desert are just fantastic. Sunsets mostly too, but the sunrises are just amazing. And this is 7 a.m. wake up. Hey, get up, let's go, let's face the day. It's pretty cool. I love that prop noise. Here's Whiskey Bravo. Somebody else is getting ready to go fly. Gotta get rid of your energy somehow and get up to pattern altitude. What better than a whifferdille, right? Golly, look at that sun. Dry lake bed. Of course, here's one of the coolest airplanes. I'm going to watch him take off. It's tremendous. Hey, he's landing on a lake. Landing and taking off on a lake. It's just funny. It's pretty cool. All right, so this is Steve Hendry, and the real popular thing is to end up in this huge slip right before the end, and you got to wonder why they're doing that slip. That's the very end, and they do the turnaround here. Oop, that fella bounced. So they pause, turn around, and then head back the other direction. Steve Hendry's reportedly has a 300 horsepower Yamaha snowmobile engine. Anyway, this is interesting thing about his airplane. See this thing right here? That's a plate, and when he's flying straight, it doesn't do anything. But then when he does that huge slip, it catches a lot of wind, and he puts those holes in there so it doesn't have too much. And essentially what that it does is it actually has a speed brake. And that's a really fantastic idea. I mean, you want to slow down as fast as you can. And so he's got this speed brake. And this is on the front underneath the engine. front of the airplane right here, and it's another speed brake. So when he does that huge slip, it just catches a whole bunch of air. And when he's going straight, you get just a little bit of drag. It's not a huge deal. So, of course, you can see the giant shocks underneath the for the gear at this point. But I think that's really fascinating. What a great idea. He also has those on the top of the wing. So he's got speed brakes. And what happens is when he gets in this huge slip, it just creates a huge amount of drag and slows down. It's brilliant. So here's another turnaround. This is pretty amazing. Watch.
Oh, at exactly the same time. That was amazing.
Like synchronized flying. All right, I think this is the last one. This is Steve Henry coming into the picture, and he's got a nice lead over a Carbon Cub. Don't know what engine the Carbon Cub has in it. Here he comes. Toby, I think, is his name. So huge lead there on the turnaround. But the Cub stops earlier. See, he's got those STOL fences with holes in it for speed brakes on top as well. Spins around, and so much of this it races on the turn. So they got a good turn. I think the Carbon Cub's got better acceleration, better turnaround, and he beats Steve Henry. And there he goes into this slip to drag for drag, and they stop. And I believe it's the Toby fellow that wins the race. And that's the final right there. So that's STOL drag from drag racing. Saturday morning, quick look at the camp just before the 7 a.m. wake-up call. Another pretty sunrise, lots more clouds today. And this is before it's going to really turn windy. You can see engines running over there. The calm before the blow. And you can see the dust. This is actually a calm time in the blow here. And what you kids just barely see right out there is that PC-24 doing its takeoff roll. It's amazing. There he goes. It's super, super windy, and it's noisy, and nice climb profile. He comes back around for a low approach. Here he is. You can just see him on the low approach. See, like I said, it's a little bit of a calm time with the dust blowing everywhere. Everybody had to run out and to the line and see the takeoff. Windy and gusty, there's really not much in the way of flying going except for this guy.
that was the STOL drags. It's a lot of fun. Not sure how well the Skywagon would do in that. I think it's a power to weight issue. The Skywagon's kind of heavy. But it was fun to watch, and it was right there. And I think the best end is watching on the turnaround end. So if you ever get a chance to go do it, fly in. It was a lot of fun. I learned some lessons, like I said, the quick lessons about batteries and how do you keep things charged. That's an issue. So I'm logging these lessons down, and I'm going to teach myself what I need to do for the next time. So next year it'll be easier, and I can get into a little bit more filming maybe, and maybe we take a Skywagon. So I hope you enjoyed watching. It was fun to make the trip, and it was fun to be there. It was a real experience, and it's grassroots aviation. It's what aviation is all about, and I hope you get to enjoy that, because it's one of the last freedoms we have, and we need to enjoy it as much as we can while we still have it. So thanks for watching, and if you liked it, hit subscribe, and if you want to get notifications, don't forget to hit the bell. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time on FlyWire. So as promised, I went to school with my problem. I had a Honda generator. It's a 47-pound, 2,000-watt generator. It's pretty cool. I usually run it on avgas. It's pretty heavy, and it's kind of bulky. So I was backcountry camping, and I should have thought more about recharging all my various devices. And anyway, it led me to this. This is a power station. It's a Goal Zero Yeti 150, and it can put a cigarette lighter on here. It has a charger. You can charge from your car or from the wall or from solar power. And it's 2 USB ports, and it's got a 120 volt plug as well, so that works out really well. And so I weighed it. It's like 12.5 pounds. That's not bad. And I'll post how many times it says you can recharge a cell phone or a GoPro or things like that. Laptop, I think you get 2, not that many out of it. But the whole idea here is that we're camping in the backcountry, and I still like my electronics because I'm tied to the rest of the world. And I can use this to recharge things, and then during the day, I'm going to use solar power to recharge the Yeti. This neat handy-dandy carrying bag costs a little bit more, and I just weighed it on the airplane as well, just over 13 pounds, so that's 25 pounds. That's still better than 47 for the Honda generator. Has a little stand right here. You can kick it up, and you can plug it in, daisy chain it if you need to with this thing, and plug it into the Goal Zero Yeti 150 to charge it up. It's 50 watts, so nominally in high sunlight it would be able to recharge the Yeti 150 in about 3 hours. But my thinking is that's probably only be about 50% efficient. So I'm thinking about 6 hours to recharge. And it does recharge in the shade, just not as efficiently. It likes direct sunlight better. So it's up to you for that. And what I'm going to do is I'll put links where you can find these things if you're interested in buying these things too. This is a little big, but the other choice is I think what they call a Nomad 20. So that would take like 2 days to charge or more. So ain't gonna happen. And but anyway, I'm going to put links where you can look at these things too, and if you decide you want to buy them, you can. That's cool. One of the other things that I used on the trip is, first time for me, is a gas-powered propane, gas-powered stove. You can buy different canisters of this stuff, large, medium, and small, I guess, and tells you how many boils you get out of a full canister is 108. Of course, we were at a high density altitude, so it takes more to boil water at those altitudes. So I don't think you're going to get as advertised out of that. But the cool thing about this is, oh, by the way, when I went to buy this, the guy was asking me what I'm going to use it for, and I told him I was going to camp with my airplane. He goes, "I don't think you can carry this in your airplane." I said, "I'm not going on the airliner, and so I'm the captain, and I can decide whether I want to carry it or not." I don't have to worry about the TSA. Anyway, this is the stove itself, and it just screws into the top of this thing, and then you can control the valve with this. Worked really well. It's small, and it was really cheap. It's like $29, I think. So it's really cheap. The other option is I've got a real heavy car camping stove with 2 burners and everything, and that uses gas, and I can use avgas on that, but it's a pain in the butt. That's huge. It's bigger than the Goal Zero solar panel. So I decided I didn't want to take that. I want to take something a little bit smaller. Food wasn't a huge issue on this particular trip. Again, there's a link going to be down below and on the website for those things. The other thing I wanted to mention is the best thing since sliced bread. I've been camping using Thermarest. I'm using rocks basically to sleep on, or Thermarest mattresses. For years I've tried those, and they're great backpacking mattresses because you can squish them up really small and stick them in your backpack. Don't take up much space, not heavy. But they're really not that comfortable either, and give you a little bit of insulation from the ground. And it was 29 degrees a couple of mornings at Dead Cow, so having some insulation from the ground is a really cool thing. But what I did find before I went is this monster. It's like a twin bed. It's an Exped. And again, I'll have the link for it on there. And this is a self-inflating, and it comes with a little bitty thing to pump air into, so you can fine-tune it for your personal likes. You can make it firm, you can make it soft, whatever you like. What I found is this thing is equivalent to a memory foam mattress. It is awesome. Lots of insulation from the ground, and it's comfortable to sleep on, so I highly recommend this thing if you don't do anything else. So that's my lessons learned out of this camping trip. We'll see what the next one brings. Thanks for watching.